Hey guys, Esther here, and today I want to talk to you about common sense and common decency and tradition and ritual. And there is a link between the two. And so that's why we're going to do kind of a two-in-one video today. And just stay with me. I think it'll make sense at the end. And today we're going to use the Level of Crazy book. Like an a-hole, everybody has one. A lighthearted approach to living life. So let's get into it. So I know that the world right now is on pins and needles waiting for Hamas and all of these terrorist groups to kind of lay down their arms and finally give back the hostages. And the time that this is all happening, I'm going to date this video a little bit, is that this is the time of Sukkot, which is a beautiful Jewish holiday, known as a Jewish holiday. But I'm going to talk about it from the perspective of a Kabbalist, because I've been studying the Kabbalistic teachings for over 2 decades, and to me, Kabbalah predates all religion, and that's what they actually say it is. It predates all religion, and it's the reason why our soul comes to this world. So it's the study of the human soul, why it comes to Earth School, and all the things that we need to be doing and learning here at Earth School. So I'm going to adjust this just a little bit. Okay. And so why I'm talking about all this is because when we're talking about Hamas, when we're talking about terrorist groups, when we're talking about wars and violence and all the things that we've been talking about now for years and years and years, as social media technology has taken over, it seems like things have just gotten more, they call it the time of the quickening, right? The time of the quickening. And it just seems like everything's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And at the same time, if you look carefully, you will notice that more and more people are starting to become more aware of spirituality. More people are coming out and talking about their interest in studying wisdoms like Kabbalah. Like Madonna just recently did a beautiful interview with one of her teachers, Eitan Yordeni, which is someone that I have learned from as well, from the Kabbalah Center, Kabbalah University. So what you learn and what you start to see and notice is that more and more people are getting closer to spirituality, getting closer to God. More and more people are going back to church. More and more people are going to synagogue. More and more people are reconnecting to their spiritual roots. And so this video is pretty much talking about what I wrote in my book and how we can move forward given all of this madness that we are constantly exposed to. Because if you turn on your phone, the YouTubes, the news, whatever, you're bombarded with information, and sometimes it's just overwhelming. And so how do you go from crazy to clarity, right? How do you deal with all of this? So one of the things that I talk about, and this is from my book, and it's not a chapter actually, chapter is its chapter, but this is where the chapter where I put all the bricks. And the bricks are another term for tools. Once you read the book, you'll understand why they're called bricks. But it is chapter 7, and it is the brick that talks about common sense and common decency. And so what we talk about here is that, let me read you a little piece here. And I did this for another video. I said, a wise man once said, common sense is not so common. I totally agree with that. And unfortunately, some people want to remove this aspect from our society altogether. So here's the thing. If you want to reduce the amount of reactive crazy, in your life, then focus on learning what is common sense and common decency and apply it daily. Choose to follow the people that are examples of it, not those that trend further from it. Here are some examples of common sense and common decency for you and many others that have worked for you and for me and for many others. So, and then it just goes into all the different examples of common sense and common decency, like using pleasantries. Thank you, you're welcome, may I borrow this? I'm sorry I'm late, or I will be late, please forgive me, I honor your time, I'm sorry I'm running late. The golden rule, which is treat others how you want to be treated. What goes up must come down, the laws of gravity. And discerning healthy versus unhealthy evolution, such as, we must learn to use the old and evolve into the new. It's interesting because just recently I saw a Facebook post where they were using grandmothers to give you old wise taglines, don't follow the herd, listen to yourself, don't worry so much what people think, just be true to yourself, those kinds of things. And they were using old grandmothers to kind of give you the insight. And so we should learn from the previous generations, because the previous generations know what worked and what didn't, and we can learn from their mistakes. Now, also, the point of this conversation is to remind us that people like Hamas, people like terrorist groups, people that are narcissists on like the 10th level, because we are all narcissists, okay? All of us. We all have our narcissistic tendencies. I always say that our parents and we as parents raise narcissists because of how we react to our kids. They, crawl a little bit. We, shout and applaud and act like they just, won some sort of, whatever, like they've just, crossed Mount Everest or something, which it's true. When you're a child and you're a baby and you just took your first step, of course your parent is going to acknowledge you, of course. When you do a good thing, when you're growing up, of course your parents is going to acknowledge you. But that's the thing, is that sometimes we may overdo it on some level and we end up raising narcissists. Or we become narcissists just through different experiences that life cause us to become narcissists. But the point is, when you're dealing with these kinds of personalities, you can't really rationalize with them. And in my opinion, that's why we should never be negotiating with terrorists or people that are just so beyond reason that we really shouldn't be negotiating. But again, things are very complicated in the world, and it's very hard to say that when I'm sitting in a nice quiet space here. So look, it's very complicated, but just to say that when we're dealing with certain personalities, it's very hard to reason, and therefore using common sense and common decency is for the average human being that is just trying to live their life the best that they know how. You, me, our neighbors, whatever. The other thing I wanted to discuss here is that, now I will premise that some people, like our neighbors, let's just say, some people are not rational. Some people are, I call lizards. Some people are, you can't reason with them no matter what you do. You cannot reason with them because they are brainwashed, they are set in their ways, and there's no way to reason with them. And therefore, those are the individuals that we just have to distance ourselves, have a pleasant, still be pleasant, still be kind if you can, if they're not being harmful to you or dangerous to you. And you move on your merry way. You know, you don't waste your time with those people. But anyway, just to say that for the most part, it's usually, I'm talking about the extremacy, and I'm sure you understand. The other thing I want to discuss is ritual and tradition. And so, given that I mentioned earlier that this is a holiday season, 21 days of holiday, starting with Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, and then Simchat Torah. This is a Kabbalistic, cosmic opening time frame. This is a time where the universe is open for us to reset for the upcoming year. This is the time where on Rosh Hashanah, the gates are open, and actually it starts before Rosh Hashanah. It starts in the month of Virgo, which is called Iyul, and it's the time in August where we start to self-reflect, and we start to see certain characteristics, certain habits, things that we want to change. And so we will be tested, things will start to come out, and we can either change them or we can ignore them, whatever we want to do. But I will promise you that the universe, because we all come here to be tested, we all come here to grow, our souls will push us to move forward. So we will be tested, we will be shown, and it's our choice to make those changes. Now Rosh Hashanah comes, the gates are open, and now we have the opportunity to actually show up on Rosh Hashanah, ready to receive all that energy. Then we go into Yom Kippur. It's the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, where we have a time that we can really, again, now be tested with the new stuff, right? With the new version of ourselves. And now we have to earn that light. Now we have to earn the light that we wanted. Now, you know, whether, you know, I wanted that new job or I wanted that new opportunity or whatever. Well, now you will be tested to see how badly you want it. When Yom Kippur comes, the light comes. That's why we fast. It's a day of atonement, a day that's very, Kabbalistically, it's called the day of, you know, where we gain the light of Binah, which is a very, very powerful time where we are downloading all this energy to close and to be inscribed in the book of life, is what they say, and to basically just live out the rest of our 365 days. Then after that goes into the holiday of Sukkot, which is known as the hut, right? A lot of people have seen these little huts being built around synagogues or schools or anything that's of a Jewish faith. You'll notice that they have these little structures made out of wood and really cool like decorations inside with fruit and berries and honey and beautiful decorative you know, things all over the walls of this structure. It's really, really a beautiful time, and that's the energy of happiness, healing, and manifestations and sustenance and all these beautiful things. And so eating inside of this hut is a very powerful, they say that the energy comes through the hut and you can download a lot of really powerful energy. Now, I don't, you know, I have studied this for a very long time, and as much as I know that the hut is a beautiful channel of this energy, I think that if you don't have a hut of your own and you don't have a local place where you can go to sit in a hut, I think just having that consciousness of being in the hut is very powerful, and you will be okay if you can meditate and really create that energy for yourself and just be in the energy of creating that manifestation for yourself. And then the final holiday that we'll be moving into next week is Simchat Torah, which is the end of these, let's just call them festivals. And it is the time when the book of life will be sealed. All the energy will be sealed for you. And if you think about it, logically, you've been creating all these new changes for yourself throughout those 21 days. So yeah, you're on your way. You're on your way to have amazing, amazing things come to your life. Now, why did I bring all this together with Hamas and these beautiful holidays? Is to say that, you know, like I said, that certain people are irrational. There's no way to ration. There's no way to really have a sit-down conversation with some people. And these holidays and traditions and rituals are super important because, and let's read what I say here about it. Tradition and rituals can be beautiful and powerful tools that help us grow and become better versions of ourselves. When we use them with positive intention and meaning, these are some of the keys to ultimate fulfillment and sustainable happiness and overall well-being. Too often, people want to destroy these sacred practices, deeming them barbaric or outdated, but they are actually the glue that keeps so many communities and societies together and thriving. And that is the point, is that when you have a society that is built on thriving and surviving and beauty and building and creating something that's for humanity and something that is creating, empowering humanity. That is why rituals and traditions are important, because they keep that society together. When you have other societies that are just built on hate, destruction, killing, violence, guess what? Guess what you're gonna have there? And here's the beauty of it. They also have tradition and rituals. And they also work well together, because when you do anything in a unified force, whatever it is that you focus on will manifest. So if you're working together, and we see it with all the protests, we see it with all the craziness that goes on in the world, when you have masses of people working together towards any one goal, they will manifest it. It will get manifest. So what I ask of us all is that this holiday season, and I know that maybe some of you have just seen this video and maybe you feel like it's too late, you didn't know about it, whatever, it's okay. You can start at any point. At any point, we can start to become a society of unification, of love, of kindness, of common sense and common decency. We don't need to be a certain race or a certain faith or a certain sex or a certain gender or a certain anything to do good. We can just do good. And by us doing good and by us working on our own level of crazy, we can change the trajectory of this world. We can reconnect to who we were always meant to be, which are powerful, whole and complete consciousness and awareness, beautiful souls meant to just love, give, and support one another. And so as we continue to go through these holidays, as we continue to go out throughout the rest of our year, I ask you, please, take a minute. Think about, am I destroying or am I building today? In this very moment, with my words, am I building or am I destroying? And that is what will change the world. That is what will change the trajectory of our universe. And that is what will bring peace on earth and peace to you, me, and everybody else. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I thank you for your attention. Whoever stayed with me this long, it's 20 minutes. And let's do this, guys, because I know we can. We're better than this. I know we can. Get the book. Help me. Let's go on this mission together. It'll all be included in the details below. Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. Let's do this thing. If you have any questions, or if you want to reach out to me for any kind of coaching, workshop, training, anything that I could do to serve, feel free to reach out to me at eieqinstitute.com. eieqinstitute.com. And with that, as always, when you know and understand yourself, the world will know and understand you too. And remember, what's the best that can happen? Okay, guys, now get out there and let's get crazy. Take care.